Ever wonder why royal families look different? From squished faces to blood disorders, centuries of keeping the crown in the family created some wild genetic drama. Let's explore the fascinating, slightly disturbing world of royal DNA. Okay, let me paint you a picture of royal matchmaking that'll make your family reunions look totally normal. Back in the day, kings and queens had this brilliant idea. Hey, why marry strangers when we can marry our cousins? They thought keeping royal blood pure was super important. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. European royalty turned family trees into family circles, with cousins marrying cousins, uncles marrying nieces, and sometimes even closer relatives tying the knot. It's like they were playing a really messed up game of musical chairs, but instead of fun, they got some seriously wonky genetics. The Habsburg dynasty takes the crown for this, pun totally intended, with their famous Habsburg jaw becoming more prominent with each generation of family-only marriage. Let's zoom in on the Habsburg jaw, probably the most famous royal family feature that screams, maybe we should have branched out a bit. Imagine your chin growing so big it makes eating difficult. That's what happened to Charles II of Spain, who could barely chew his food. The Habsburg jaw wasn't just a slight underbite. We're talking about massive lower jaws, drooping lips, and noses that looked like they were trying to escape their faces. Scientists recently crunched the numbers and found that the Habsburg family tree had so many loops, it looked more like a pretzel. Their family was so interconnected that by the time Charles II came along, his parents were more closely related than if they'd been brother and sister. Talk about a genetic perfect storm. Here's a wild story that sounds like a movie plot, but it's 100% real. In 2012, archaeologists found one of England's most infamous kings buried under a parking lot in Leicester. Yeah, you heard that right. King Richard III, the supposed villain from Shakespeare's plays, was chilling under people's cars. But how did they know it was really him? This is where DNA becomes a historical superhero. Scientists took DNA from the skeleton and compared it to Richard's living relatives, tracking his family line through 500 years. The skeleton had battle wounds that matched historical records, a curved spine from scoliosis, and DNA that proved this wasn't just some random medieval dude who ended up under a parking lot. Let's talk about hemophilia, the royal family's uninvited guest that crashed the party for generations. Queen Victoria carried this genetic surprise package, earning it the nickname, the royal disease. When you've got hemophilia, your blood doesn't clot properly, which means even a tiny cut can become a big problem. Victoria unknowingly passed this gene to her kids, who passed it to their kids, who passed it to royal families across Europe. Suddenly, these powerful families had princes who could bleed dangerously from the smallest bump or bruise. It got so bad that the Russian royal family turned to a mysterious holy man named Rasputin for help with their hemophiliac heir. And we all know how that turned out. This genetic time bomb changed the course of European history, proving that even the mightiest crowns can't protect against DNA's wild card. All right, buckle up because this part of royal history is absolutely wild. The Ptolemaic dynasty of Egypt took family relationships to a whole new level of yikes. For 300 years, these rulers made the Habsburgs look like casual daters. Cleopatra's family tree? More like a family pole. They married brother to sister for generations, believing it kept their bloodline pure and godlike. Cleopatra herself was the product of roughly 300 years of this family tradition. She married not one, but two of her brothers. When your family reunion is also your dating pool, you know something's seriously wrong. The Ptolemies were so intermarried that geneticists today get headaches just trying to map out their relationships. Hey, want to hear something bizarre? For centuries, people believed that kings and queens could cure diseases just by touching sick people. They called it the king's evil, a nasty form of tuberculosis that caused painful neck swelling. Thousands of people would line up to get the royal touch, convinced that those royal hands packed some serious healing mojo. The French and English monarchs were especially famous for this. They'd even give out special coins called touch pieces as souvenirs. Charles II of England supposedly touched over 100,000 people during his reign. Makes modern celebrity meet and greets look pretty tame, right? The wildest part? Some people actually got better, thanks to good old placebo effect. Let's fast forward to today, where royal families have finally gotten the memo about genetic diversity. Modern royals are breaking away from the old keep it in the family playbook, and their gene pools are thanking them for it. Take Britain's royal family. They've welcomed non-royals like Diana Spencer and Kate Middleton, bringing fresh DNA to that ancient bloodline. Even Prince Harry married Meghan Markle, adding some seriously needed diversity to the royal gene pool. These changes aren't just good PR, they're helping break centuries of genetic bottlenecking. The result? Healthier royal babies without those trademark Habsburg jaws or hidden haemophilia genes. Turns out, sometimes the best way to keep the monarchy strong is to let some new blood in. Ready for some royal CSI action? The story of the princes in the Tower is one of history's creepiest cold cases. Two young princes disappeared in 1483 after their uncle Richard III locked them in the Tower of London. 2 centuries later, workers found small skeletons buried under a staircase. Talk about a medieval murder mystery. Modern scientists are now using cutting-edge DNA testing to crack this 500-year-old case. They're comparing bone samples with living relatives of the princes, trying to finally answer if Richard III was actually the murderous uncle Shakespeare made him out to be. The plot twists. The bones keep revealing new surprises that make historians question everything they thought they knew. Let's hop into our genetic time machine and check out what royal mummies are spilling about their ancient lives. Thanks to modern DNA tech, these royal remains are like gossip columns from thousands of years ago. We've discovered that King Tut had a clubfoot and malaria, probably because his parents were, you guessed it, brother and sister. Egyptian mummies are basically genetic libraries wrapped in fancy bandages. Scientists have found everything from blood types to diseases, family connections to dietary habits. It's like having a front-row seat to the oldest reality show on Earth, minus the dramatic music, but with plenty of actual drama. Let's crack open the genetic lottery that kept some royal families ruling for centuries, while others fizzled out faster than last season's TikTok trends. Think of royal genes like playing cards. Some dynasties got dealt a royal flush, while others, well, they got the genetic equivalent of a 2 of clubs. The Capetian dynasty of France, they ruled for over 800 years. Their secret sauce? They actually married outside their immediate family circle pretty often. Meanwhile, the Spanish Habsburgs played genetic Russian roulette with their family-only marriage policy and, boom, extinct in just a few generations. It's basically survival of the least related. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride through royal family genetics. If you enjoyed learning about these blue-blooded family dramas, smash that like button and subscribe for more fascinating history stories. Share with your friends, especially your cousins. Stay curious.